Uh, Trainz tutorial. This one's on driver commands. We've had a few people ask how driver commands work and how to use some of the driver commands. So this tutorial is going to be a bit of a basic one where it shows you how to set up some commands in a couple of different ways, and maybe also how to get hold of a few other commands via the download station that might come in handy. So first off, let us go into Kickstarter County and we'll create a session. Driver commands are associated with sessions, they're not associated with routes. So if you use them, you use them failed mostly, and also say the session game. So to start off with, let's put down a locomotive. Go back to our go-to loco. It's tender. Okay. Excuse me. So let's make sure we get the name. Scene 1. Go up to our edit session rules button. Click that, and it'll open up to the basic default rules in our session. The first one that we'll do is driver setup, so we can actually add a driver. It's already added a driver for us, which is great. And then under here, we have this little bar that allows us to set driver commands for this particular driver. We click the little arrow and it gives us a bunch of driver command options. There's navigate to places starting with A and P, and it lists all the places, and then you can click one of these. So I want it to navigate to Pinecone, Fury Ridge platform, and now the train's going to try and navigate to there. So that one command is the first command in this list, and as soon as the game or the session starts, it's going to read that command and it's going to try and navigate to that position. So you can drag it off to get rid of it. You can line up multiple commands. Excuse me. These are the base commands that a session starts off with. I'm going to show you how to add more to this, but right now these are all the commands that we have. There's, wait for 20 seconds, so the actual driver's going to sit there. The train's not going to go anywhere for 20 seconds.
Because that's usually what I want to do my streams at, but I may end up leaving a little bit earlier depending on the time frame because I do have to work this afternoon. Alright, so let's just jump right on into it. So we're going to be doing the driver. We got driver, surveyor, my collection, search view, download, rolling stock, and there's all different kinds of rolling stock. And for my buddy out there, Hank, there is some DLCs for Norfolk Southern. I've seen CSX on here when I'm playing around already. Of course, we're going to go into the driver surveyor. We're going to go down to. We're not going to look at routes. We're going to look at tutorials. And of course, the first one we're going to look at is, hey, right here, Southern Pacific. Oh my gosh, that just hit right to my heart. Like I said, the old SD9s. I grew up watching those. So pretty much, these are the pictures. You get to take a look at what's in this tutorial. Let's just go right to it. Double click on it. So pretty basic stuff here in this first tutorial. We're going to try to blow through it as fast as we possibly can. Get as much content in. So hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's got some plans. Oh my God, my neighbor, poor guy, went out to Pismo Beach and with his toy hauler, and they had some pretty bad waves. You can find it on, if you look up Pismo Beach, California, and there's news out there. They had a storm surge came in, and I guess wherever he parked, he was pretty close to the beach. And he's got a dune buggy and everything, and they go dune buggying out there. And his trailer and his truck got pulled out into the ocean. Alright, so camera. We're going to talk about the camera menu. This is the little tooltip we're going to be following right here. The camera menu is one of the menus in the top left corner, right there. So it displays a list of available camera modes. So if you click on it, you get a whole list right here that you can play with. From the camera menu, click Tab or press number 1 in the row that goes above all the QWERTY keys. So on keyboards, we're going to hit that number 1, and we're inside the cab. Looking good. I like it. Hold down the right mouse button, kind of pan around, take a look at everything. These things. I don't think any of this stuff is you can play with any of this stuff, but unlike around 8, you can kind of flip switches. Not so much here. It's already done for like. Keys, all these are in the off position, so this thing shouldn't even be, honestly, yeah, you can't flip them, so it just, can you do this? Can you move? No, can't move that, so it's all done by keyboard. Alright, use right mouse button, can move, scroll, mouse to scroll. Okay, when we're ready, open the camera menu and select chase or press 2. So let's open the camera menu, we're going to click chase. And this is the original view we came in on. We can hold the right mouse button down and scroll around. Orbit around the vehicle from the camera menu. Wants us to click 3 or click line side in the menu or hit the number 3 button. So we got a camera here focusing on whatever car you're focusing on as it drives by. You get to watch it drive by. Okay, and then number 4. And this is the roaming view. We can look anywhere we want. Right mouse button pulls up the compass that you just saw flash there. And then the left and right arrow keys, we're going to rotate around that spot on the compass. So if we set it over here, we're going to rotate around that. Sit go. All right. So then we're going to go back to map. And wherever our cursor is, it goes for the use right mouse button in center position. So wherever our cursor happens to be, if we click right mouse button, it's going to move the map. And I guess this is how you move the map. I was trying to move the map by holding the mouse button and dragging, but no. This I find very interesting. So all this, and then here they labeled this. So whoever made this map is must be living very close or know about this area here, because the YVRR Merced, that's the Yosemite Valley Railroad, and there used to be Merced's very close to where I live, and there used to be a railroad that tied into the Union Pacific lines, or actually the Santa Fe lines. I'm sorry, not Union Pacific, Santa Fe lines. And it was basically it was a train that took passengers along what is now considered, I think, Highway 140 into the Yosemite Valley and back again. And also did freight along that way because there's a bunch of cities, little tiny towns that go out there. In some places, the tracks are gone now. Everything's gone. Um, the industry that's closest to Merced was a cement plant. That cement plant is all derelict, but you can see where the roadbed was, and as you drive along 140, you can see evidence of where the train might have been at one time. So, but I saw this, and I went, wow, okay. So I don't know what they're trying to model here, but the fact that they put that in, okay, I'm kind of excited by it. Use right mouse center position scroll, or use the on-screen buttons to zoom. The on-screen buttons to zoom. Oh, over here. I'm like, where are they? They're over here. But they're not working. Clicking on them. Or I just use the scroll. Then the nice thing is you scroll in. So this might be somebody's idea. And that's the thing about Trainz is that you basically build your model railroad with this. That's the whole idea behind Trainz. And there's a great YouTube video out there on the history of Trainz and how it started and why it started. And it really was they wanted something that you could design a railroad, or your model railroad with, and then it kind of morphed into, well, let's go ahead and let people run their trains on their model railroad. And then it turned into this, where we kind of, through just progression, turned into what we have now. So we can actually design our own layout and run trains. And there's another video out there I caught where you could take, on this baseboard, you could take a satellite view from Google Maps, overlay it on the baseboard, and then actually model out the railroad and all the industries that as it appeared on Google Maps. So a lot of things that you can do with that. We'll get into that later. Today it's about the tutorials. So, all right. So anyway, use right mouse button to center position, mouse scroll. Okay, then go back to number 2, the chase. We're going to go back to the locomotives. There it comes as everything reses in. All right. The speed control is on the bottom right of the screen. Rotate the dial using your mouse or with the W and X keys, which I think I was talking about before I was having a problem with OBS. It wasn't YouTube, it was OBS. That it's I want to remap that, and I'll do that. It says WX, so I want to keep the WASD keys normal. So W would be forward, S would be back, is how I would like it. But the way it's not, it's W is forward, and then X, pardon me, X is reverse, and S is stop. So, which is right in the middle of the A and the D keys and the W and the X keys. But I think I would rather use X, because actually I'm going to be use X to stop and use W and S, because it seems more natural that way. As you actually run a locomotive anyway, you're not going to stop instantly. You don't want to. You have those options like in run 8 hours to stop instantly, but I don't want that to happen. I want to be, because I noticed one thing as I was goofing around, you get little flags down here, or little notifications down here that you're actually rough handling the train. So like I always say, hey, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. And when it comes to railroading, nothing is fast. Wait a minute, is it? Okay. All right, so those aren't turning. I noticed too, I was running a train, depending on how fast I was going, these fans, you'd actually see the fans in here start to turn. That kind of stuff gets exciting. Oh, I see that. All right, so we're going to turn the dial. So the dial down here is like the controller on a DCC controller, a little dial. And we can either drag with the mouse, hold down the left mouse button, and just drag it, or we can use the W key, which increments up in steps of 5%, and then decreases by hitting the X, same thing, by 5%. And see, I did too fast, and so I got that little rough handling notification right there. So we're going to go ahead and turn the dial clockwise, move a train forward. We're going to move the train forward here. Sounds okay. I like the sounds that they have. Horn, I didn't like. So I don't know if there's an option to change horn sounds. If there is, we'll look into that. We'll discover it. We'll see what happens. So right now we're in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. We're driving about 4 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and increase. 8, 9, 10. All right, let's back up a little bit. We're gonna do about, see, rough handling. I did 5% by hitting the X key, and it came up with a rough handling. All right, so I hit the waypoint, and then of course we got the red symbol up there to stop. We want to stop on there. Oh, turntable. There is a turntable right there. All right. Looks like I got the little icons right there. Looks like the turntable is usable. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's the crane moving. I saw that shadow earlier. Cool. Like cars moving, cranes moving. So, I mean, I like that. There's life on the map. There's life on the map. Hovering over that. That's what that arrows were. Hovering over this. Or the turntable. I still got the rough handling notification. Congratulations, you completed this tutorial. If you would like to learn more about easy mode operations, you can find an extended reference. So there is a wiki. There is a huge, huge wiki for Trainz. I'm not sure I like the way it's laid out, but it is what it is. So I think I'm gonna bring my iPad with me when I go to the basketball today, and I'll probably be in the wiki reading a bunch of stuff. Click the check mark below to end this session. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Oh, we got a score here. Let's see what we got. 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars. Oh, we got 5 stars for that one. Nice. A perfect run. You have achieved a rating of 5 stars. What does that mean? It means I get to make myself another cup of coffee is what that means. Let's go to the next tutorial. All right, so it's going to load up a new tutorial here. It's interesting. You click on it. You click on a locomotive, and they get a little different face down there in the lower left-hand corner. There was a guy that showed up. I swear he was part of the Walking Dead. I don't know where they got the picture, who drew him, but yeah. All right, selecting a path. Okay, this is pretty cool. All right, so mouse over to the turnout ahead to reveal its overlay. Overlays can be toggled on the display menu at upper left or by pressing Control H. So if I do Control H, left Control H, okay, so that turned on here where it says Junction 837. I'll do Control H again to go away, and it goes turned on overlay It's overlay. Overlays can be toggled in the display menu in the upper left. Display menu. All right. Junction overlays. Boom. There it is. So they're called junctions. So turnouts. This is also an Australian-made game. So it says junction overlays. Of course, you know, for U.S., I think it says Rocky Mountain, Rocky Mountaineer. I would maybe say turnouts. I don't know, but it says junction overlays. Maybe even our here they call them junctions. I don't know. So anyway, okay, so click the overlay or press J to switch the turnout ahead of you. So I need to switch the turnout, and of course you just hover on it and it pops up. Switch the turnout, okay. Proceed forward, prepare to stop, up ahead, start your train. Well, it's already running, it's already started. I got red over yellow, so that is a medium clear for the diverging. No faster than 30 miles an hour is what is said in these tutorials. I tend to do at least half the speed of what track speed is. So, but we're also on a passenger train, so we're going to start out slow. We don't want people tumbling. Just slowly bring the speed up to about at least 10 miles an hour. There we go. 10, 12. It's moving pretty good. Alright, so proceed forward, prepare to stop up ahead. So we're going to start reducing speed. I'm looking right above the dial here. I don't want to get a rough handling. We get down to 5 miles an hour. Hit 0. Hit S to stop that to 0. Okay. Once the turnout is in the rear of your train, you can switch it by pressing Control J. Control J. Oh, okay. So Control H. Was it Control J? Oh no, it's up there. Okay. There's the junction. It's locked. I notice it's got a little lock up there. So okay, so Control J just switches that back to on the main line. So okay, I got you. I got you. I got what you're throwing down. Okay. You can now proceed forward, prepared to stop at the red signal. So let's go ahead, start your train forward again. So low, slow start. We don't want people tumbling. Yeah, almost like I normally do. I wonder if you could actually get a DCC controller or something like that. Oh. I just had an epiphany. What if instead of a rail driver, if I could get an actual DCC controller style, like in other words for a model railroad controller, handheld controller, get something like that that would interface with the computer. Oh, that all of a sudden, if there's something out there like that, I think for my train simulators, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'll just sit back, I can put my feet up and run my trains. Oh, that would be, Now, somebody was actually saying that they use a Steam Deck, which I could kind of see that too. But if I literally could get, oh yeah, come on, all right, come to a stop, no rough handling. All right, switch junction SJ02. Okay, tutorials can also be switched. Turnouts can also be switched in map view. All right, remember you can select map view from the camera menu or pressing enter map view. Okay. And then junction SJ02 is right here. Okay, so I'm going to right click the center, which I don't need to. And map view, okay, in map view, turnouts can be selected, switch junction on map view. Okay, I'm gonna go scroll in. Scroll back out. Okay, I can see, you know what? I can see there's the green and the red arrows. It's now switched. Okay. So we'll hit M to get out of map view. Oh, okay, come on. How about if I do 2? Oh, now I'm scrolled way out. Interesting. 1, 2. Interesting how it does that. Okay, that might be a problem. All right, switched. Proceed to the passenger depot. I got a green light. So Steam Deck, someone they use their Steam Deck to control their trains, and I'm like, that could work. But what's up, Hank? How you doing? Afternoon, well, morning here. So I don't know if you caught what I was throwing down earlier, but man, the Jaggies are gone, and it was a brand new monitor. I went to a 4K monitor, and even run 8 looks phenomenal. It really does. And I did purchase Run 8 News, guys. I purchased the new car pack that had come out, and I purchased the new DLC for the South something or other, whatever for the, but so basically I'm back to 100% again on the DLCs. But anyway, okay, let's move up. But yeah, if I, instead of using a Steam Deck, I would really wonder how hard it would be. Now I know that the interface controllers go to a main box that connects to the model railroad, but I'm wondering if somebody out there has come up with one, like a DCC style controller that I can sit there and hold in my hand and flip the switches and do everything that I need to do, as opposed to a rail driver. That would be exciting. That would be absolutely exciting. Oh yeah, I did. Oh my gosh. Well, the thing about it is, it's not that old. I've had it for I have had it for a while, but it's not that old. I just thought that it was an HD monitor, and apparently it wasn't. So I dropped the bills. I mean, the 4K monitor, especially here at the holidays and stuff, the 4K monitors are down in price. So I went to Best Buy, and congratulations, I completed this tutorial. On to the next. How much time I got left? Quite a bit. So, all right, we're gonna click on that. What's my score? But yeah, I went to, oh my goodness, yeah, I put the 4K on, and Run 8 looks amazing. Now, I still think that, like with Railroader, looks amazing. Here with Trainz, looks amazing. Run 8 might want to think of investing some new assets. And I think that they're limiting themselves, and I'm putting this out there. I think they need to put Run 8 on Steam to get bigger audience, and give us the ability to make routes like what you can do here in Trainz. Because I would be down for, okay, they stopped at Fresno at the Cowboy Yard. I can go ahead and come up with the 2 subdivisions that, I think it's 2 or 3 subdivisions that are between Calawa and Roseville, and then send them to Run 8 and go, here you go, guys. What do you think? Let them approve it and then put them out. So I don't know, just me. I'm just talking. All right, next tutorial. So, but yeah, the jack. In fact, yeah, when I was actually went to. Well, first I went to Selkirk Yard, and just like jaw drop. Wow, looked amazing. Then I went over to the NS, the Eastern, Pennsylvania one, and looked at that. Amazing. So, and then like I said, then with this one, this looks amazing on my monitor, on this monitor, and with the price drop on Steam for Trainz, yeah, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it was down for the Platinum Edition at one point. It was like almost $70. I think it was down to like $29, 75% off. And then there was a bundle pack with 14 DLCs, and add the bundle pack, that had a price reduction. It was down to $8.99. But even with both those combined, it was still cheaper than buying the Trainz Platinum Edition just a couple of weeks ago, when I was first looking at it and decided to pull the trigger on it. So that became a no-brainer. And then right now there's a lot of DLCs that are, the average is about 50% off. And there's some models of the Norfolk Southern locomotives. And then there's a lot of routes. So I'm not too much interested in European routes. So if you're from Europe, I'm sorry. I'm not going to discount it, but yeah, I'm going to be looking for routes that are in and around my area, or the area of the same operations that I'm trying to do over on Run 8. That's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, so let's get back to our tutorial here. Moving freight to where it needs usually requires some switching. Most likely, yeah. First, you'll be moving the boxcar at the warehouse over to the passenger station. Click the check mark when you are ready to continue. I think I'm ready to continue. See, I like this though. Yeah, 1500. This is what I wish we had in Run 8 though, as a switcher. I like those. I don't know why, I just do. Yeah, I just do. I think it would be kind of nice. Alright, to couple the boxcar, simply approach it at a low speed and give it a gentle nudge. Take care, excessive speed may cause damage to valuable freight or even the boxcar itself. Well, that's true. Alright, and it looks like the switches are, yep, the arrow's going that way, so we're going to go ahead and move forward. Now we're dealing with freight. We don't want like crystal chandeliers all over the place. Regardless of what's in the boxcar, or what industry, you gotta think that it's nothing but crystal. All crystal glasses stacked on top of each other. They're not packaged, they're not wrapped in bubble wrap, anything like that. So, and typically, just like what I try to do in Railroader, Run 8, and I'll do the same thing here. Try to approach at about 3 miles. Well, anything less than 5 is usually good, but if I can do 3 or less, it's even better. Alright, that pling means I've already completed what I needed to complete, and now I'm going to back up through this waypoint and over to there. So we're going to go ahead and back up. And back up, we're just going to grab the dial and turn it to counterclockwise, to the left. See, this is the guy I was talking about. Look at that. He looks like he's undead. We got Walking Dead running the train. I don't even know who his name is. I really don't care. Of course, it looks like we're out in the country. Well, not so much. Look at that. This guy's moving around. I like this. These assets are pretty cool. They add life. What the heck? Dark rum? Nice. So, My only complaint about Trainz is that you never really know if you are getting a quality mod. There are a lot of old mods that look bad in the current versions of the game. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that I'm kind of leery on, and I know that there was a streamer that I've been following that he does run 8, but he also does Trainz, and I think he's doing Railroader now as well too. And I've kind of questioned him about this particular simulator. And he said, it's like my first thing was like, oh, it's all scenario based, like I'm doing tutorials of scenarios. There we go. Okay, switch to junction. Okay, I can't see because it's underneath that tag, but anyway. Okay, so now we're going to go forward. But anyway, he had a whole lot of content that when he brought it over from 19 to 22, it converted. So, and it converted just fine, and based upon his streams, looks just fine too. But he also did have some that did not convert, and those happen to be a couple of like his favorite. And he was going to work on that. So, the point that you're making there, my point to it is when you go to purchase a DLC for Trainz, make sure it is all right. Make sure that it's for 2022 or 2019, because 2019 is still out there and it still looks pretty good, but there's some improvements between 2019 and 2022 from what I've seen. And if I'm going to drop money on a new simulator that's train based, me and Trainz. The couple button is one of the buttons above the speed control dial at lower right. Click it and you'll see a red coupler icon. Click the red icon and decouple. So he's talking about this right here. There's the red icon. Train, Hostler, switching experience, make 10 switching moves. What is this? Oh. Did I just get, I think I just got because I've been goofing around with it, so I think I just got a Steam tag or whatever you call those things. An achievement. That's it. An achievement. Next, you'll be moving the boxcars from track 2 over to the warehouse track. Move back until clear of the junction and stop the locomotive at the stop nav point. Well, that's pretty much, so far we just know that this is all basic stuff. Question that I'm having already in these tutorials are, you going to show me how to set the brakes on these? Because that's good roll. Maybe down the line. This is all basic and it keeps adding upon itself, so. Alright, we're going to switch. Here we go. Switch junction PO2 and junction PO4. Okay, now we're going to go up and connect to those boxes. I got you. I got you. So referring to the free mods available through Trainz software. I bought on Steam, and now you raise a good point. Because I bought 2022 on Steam, so I'm on the 2022 page. Assuming that the developers are the ones that set that page up, there's a lot of mods that are free. Not there are many more than you have to pay for, but there are mods that are free. And so I would assume, going through Steam on that particular page where I purchased Trainz 2022, that those mods would work with this without a problem. And I learned this a long time ago. I mean, this is just me. It goes back to the days when I played Farming Simulator a lot, especially 2017 and 2019, but mostly in 2017 is where I learned this. There's the in-game mod hub in Farming Simulator. There is an external mod hub. Okay, you can now pull the boxcars clear of the junction leading to the warehouse track, pull the boxcars back and stop the locomotive at the stop nav point. And that's back there. Okay. But going back to Farming Sim and what I'm trying to equate it to is that the there's like an internal mod hub, an external mod hub, and then there were other places you could go and get DLCs from. And those other places taught me, number one, have a really good antivirus program. And I have a very good one now, and I use it. And then also not only use it, but I also swear by Malwarebytes. So I caught a virus from one of those sites that completely jacked my system up, and if it hadn't have been for Malwarebytes, I would probably have to redo my entire hard drive and lose everything that I have. Malwarebytes got it back, got removed the virus, and it just taught me that that's, going to, well, be careful about what sites you go to is what I'm trying to say, is where I'm trying to get to. So I know Trainz, I think, is one. There's a lot of sites. There are. But since I bought this off of Steam, the way I'm looking at it is that if I buy the DLCs through Steam or get the free ones from the free DLCs from Steam, then they should work with 2022, should not have any issues like viruses, and worth the money for me to purchase. Anywhere else, if I go to an external website, and I know that there's some that have been mentioned, and I think even they're mentioned in here, and I was, as I was kind of doing a cursory look around for everything, they're kind of mentioned here, but just be wary, be very wary. Congratulations. Okay, so that's how we switch. Very easy, easily done. I'm still asking the question, how do we go ahead and set the brakes on these? Oh, wait a minute, I wonder. If I'm hovering on it, hold control, right click, drive train, move train, get train, couple, decouple, scheduled, drive schedule, halt train, load, navigate to track, okay, notify, run around, unload, wait for, oh, interesting, assign to player, okay. Then I saw something else. I don't know. I saw something and I ran into it the other day and I don't know. So anyway, okay. So what's my score? I get 5 stars. I am awesome. Next tutorial. But I guess going back, that's just ultimately my point. It's just be very wary. Don't go to, hey, Bob's Trainz website, because you don't know. So, and that Norfolk Southern pack or DLC, whatever, it gives you a Norfolk Southern engine, that was on Steam's site. So anyway, Okay, so going on. Next tutorial is often during a session you'll be required to load and unload freight at points along the way. In this tutorial you'll be loading lumber at the mill for delivery to another industry. You may start your train slowly forward then when ready. Got a yellow over a red. Alright, well I'm assuming my switches are set and didn't say anything about it. Oh, I got that little load symbol, arrow pointing at the car. Okay, I get it. Stop at the nav point to load lumber. It's different. I mean, I like it because I have incremental, better control over it. Especially like if you're doing, I was doing a passenger. If you go too fast, it's rough handling. W increments in 5% increments. X decreases by 5%. And a lot of times, especially for passengers, I would get like a little notification up here, rough handling. So and that's why the dial, just clicking on the dial. But as you can see, depending on where I have my cursor, it's just going to click right up. So gotta be careful with that. But that gave me the idea that if I can get if there's a way to take like a DCC style controller with a dial like this that would interface with your PC to control your trains with buttons on there to flip switches and all that, or you know, everything else that we would need, I think it'd be pretty cool. W, we'll just go forward W, and then when we get up here, I mean it's freight, who cares, right? No, it's a caboose. And then S to come to a stop, but it's not a sudden stop. But it's kind of it's not as slow as I would like it. Okay, lumber successfully loaded. You can now proceed to the St. Nicholas yard. The path has been set for you. Proceed forward. Okay, we're a 40-mile-an-hour track, so we're gonna go 40 miles an hour. Punch it. Give it the beans. You know what? Yesterday when I was goofing around with this, this is one that's like, usually I just dive into a program and I start playing with stuff to figure it out. And this one's like, you know what? I got questions. Let me run through the tutorials. Maybe my questions will be answered through the tutorials. I played with the bell. Horn can use I know it's if the train has ditch lights equipped, you can turn the lights on and off. Sand. Change the direction, whether forward is forward or forward is reverse. So kind of played around with some stuff, Hank, but yeah, no, it's not bad. I mean, it's mostly what you get Surveyor 2 with the Platinum Edition. That's mostly what I wanted to play around with, because I've got some ideas rolling around in my head for my actual, one day I will have my model railroad. Slow down a little bit. Although this is a nice little layout that we're running around here. The middle dot on the far right bottom. Oh, this one? No, I haven't played with this at all. Forward. See, this would be nice. Yeah, I haven't played with, yeah, so I saw it, clicked on it, cycled through it, but I haven't played with it. How do I go to stop? Oh well. This is literally, I'm not even 24 hours into this. How new this is. I'm within, let's see, it is 11 o'clock my time. And I didn't get back from buying the monitor and other things. I finally, oh, if you noticed, well, you don't see it through the stream, but I also had to go, when I bought the monitor, I bought Windows 11 key. So that issue is now resolved. Hopefully a little more, system's a little more stable, because I noticed one little thing in their wording um, that bothered me. And it was when I read through every single word that, hey, you need to activate your copy of Windows 11, and here's the wording: to prevent interruptions. And I was under the suspicion that they were doing that. The other day when I had the power outage and the stream stopped abruptly at the end, um, I think that might have been coincidental, because after I read that, and I've had that issue before where all of a sudden especially after I put in the new video card, all of a sudden my card the driver just quit. It's not the driver quitting, because every time I come back, it's the driver's been kind of not uninstalled, but it has been deactivated for what Windows thinks it should have. And when I go to reactivate it, oh no, that driver is not compatible with your current card. Although it is, the driver says it's for my card. I had to actually go and reinstall that driver. And so that was some of the issues I was having the other day. So I think the interruptions are planned. Put it that way. I think the interruptions are a planned interruption when you have a deactivated copy of Microsoft Windows. So that being said, I'm now activated. I actually paid a little extra too. Not only did I get the activation key, but I also got the thumb drive that came with it. So I've got my repair thumb drives and my antivirus thumb drives, and then I've got, which are all bootable, and then I've got the thumb drive for Windows, so if I ever have to redo things. And honestly thinking about doing it, kind of redoing and getting rid of, well, I was going to say get rid of the spinning platter, but I have a 4 terabyte one in there, and Lord of the Rings Online does not like SSD, whether it likes the M.2 drives or my SSD drives. It doesn't like those. It wants the spinning platter. So fine, we'll go spinning platter. Track profile display below provides information on the road ahead, such as speed limits, signals, and gradients. Click on the settings icon in above the driver portrait to enable or disable current elements as desired. Track profile settings. Oh, okay, so let's hover on it. This is toggle driver message display. Junctions. Wow. What, can I change junctions? Maybe not. That'd be pretty. I don't know. Anyway, junctions, speed signs. Okay, it's pretty cool. Things to play with. So this is what we're talking about down here. It is 30 miles, 30 miles, 20 miles. Gradients. I like the gradients, how it kind of raises and lowers and tells you what the percentage is. We got some 3% grade, almost 3%, 2.5%. 0.4%, 0.5, almost 0.5%, a little over, almost 6%. So not bad. I think we're coming in. I'm going to slow down. You turning me? Yep. Now it said 30 miles. This is where it's misleading. 30 miles here if you come in too fast into a yard, you just need to know most of your yards are going to be 10 to 15 miles an hour. So I'm just going to come in, roll in at about 10 miles an hour into the yard. For me, the game is not jumpy, so it might be the stream. Let me take a look and see what OBS is telling me. I have dropped a few frames, not a lot. So that's typical internet. I'll go back and I'll rewatch it again. But yeah, no, actually it's been playing pretty solid, so I don't know, is it jumpy all the time or is it just intermittently? Ping, there goes the waypoint. The lumber is required at MISO 58 traction SA, so we need to move this switch. Alright, the lumber, okay, marked by the unload sign, that's over there. Switch junction S16, then reverse your train slowly into the siding and stop at the nav point. Okay. Ditch lights. Alright, lights off. Okay, lights on. Yeah, I don't know why. I like these little switchers. It was SW1500s, I think is what they were. 1501, so maybe, yeah. So a little Run 8 news. All my industries are configured. All of my industries are configured. So now it's a matter of, this is the hard part. I've saved the hardest for last, is I have to go to the interchanges, all my interchange now, and well, in the spreadsheet, it's going to be, all right, I'm going to come to a stop here, and we're unloaded. Congratulations. All right, so talk about Run 8 for a minute. So all the industries on my map are configured. So I have 5 different locations where locals are running out of. And some of those locations, like Selkirk, I think has like 3 or 4 different, has 4 different locals. The Wit has 3, the rest have maybe 1 or 2. And now it's just the interchange tracks. So my plan